Hello, everyone. Welcome to Destination Pig Leagues. In today's episode, I've got Tereza Tizkova from e2b.dev. So, thank you so much for coming on to the platform, Tereza. How's it going?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. Yeah, it's going great. We are in San Francisco with the whole team, so talking to a lot of users and customers and building. So it's pretty exciting, and the weather
Awesome,
is nice.
awesome. Okay, so you've got a background in economics, marketing, and pure mathematics. Uh, Upon graduation, you subsequently started working at McKinsey, and then you joined e2b.dev as one of the founding members. Uh, so, uh, can you run the audience through sort of your journey on how you ended up becoming one of the founding members of e2b.dev?
Yeah, it started, I think, in one of coffees in Prague. It was pretty random because, yeah, I was working at McKinsey as management consultant for something like a year, and I liked it. It was challenging. It was quite generic. I had a chance to work on different industries, like energy transformation and banking, and see all the like big things happening in the world. But yeah, it was still a corporate job, and I always wanted to do startups. I didn't know how, but it just sounded great to like build something. So I got connected with Vasek and Tom, and the founders of E2B, and at that time it was last year in I think May 2023, and they just had just like one first version of the product, and at the time it was something completely different because AI agents were all just starting, and everyone was experimenting, like nobody really knew what they were doing, but they had something, they had a vision. We met for coffee in Prague, and I think we clicked, and it was a lot about the like having the similar energy and mindset, and we wanted to work together basically. So then I joined them, and in 1 week after that, or 1 2 weeks, I quit McKinsey, and I I booked a flight to San Francisco, and we started uh, building E2B together, and now we are a team of four actually. So so that's the story.
Awesome. I mean, that's kind of interesting, right? Working at McKinsey is generally considered a pretty sought after job within the management consulting sphere. So, you quit your job, you joined a startup that you had high conviction on. So, as I understand, that you don't have a high technical background while making the transition, right? So, what made you take the leap of faith in terms of like leaving your your sought after management consulting role in McKinsey and then, joining a startup so early on?
Mm, yeah, you're right. I didn't have technical background. I studied marketing and economics for undergrad, and then abstract mathematics, which is not very, practical thing that you would apply in business. So yeah, I studied mathematics, but I think that gives you sort of confidence in that you will be able to learn anything, because you spend like 2 3 years studying very abstract proofs and theorems. So then I was like, there cannot be anything like that much more difficult. Yeah, but still I have like a huge respect for programmers, and and it was difficult to start coding, but I think I think like I had the like dedication to learn something new, and I'm having like personal blog where I post articles about science, technology, so the founders could see that I am already interested in learning something technical. So yeah, that's it. But still, my role at E2B is a lot of non-technical things. Like I do research on the AI agents, I write blog, I create examples, I'm doing events. So I'm not like working on the infrastructure or on the like product, but still it involves a lot of coding. So I started with Code Academy, learning Python. Now I'm learning JavaScript, and I low-key hate it. So yeah, it's
Right.
something new for me.
No, that's interesting because I feel when I talk to a lot of people that don't come from a technical background, they're often like, "What's the starting point? How do I kind of take advantage of all the things happening in AI?" So, as someone who kind of made that transition, like picking up coding not relatively young, what advice would you give someone who's from a traditional field trying to capitalize on all of this innovation that's happening in AI? Like, what would their starting point be?
Uh, this might be controversial, but I think it's not good to learn something just for the sake of doing it. Like everyone is doing AI, so I should do AI too. I think that's not that the best direction, because I think you have to really love what you are doing. You have to really enjoy it and think about it a lot to be really great at it. So I think it's good to find for yourself some excuse to get into AI, like connected with something you really already enjoy. For me, the beginnings was I enjoyed writing a blog. I enjoyed writing, so I connected it with AI, and I started writing about AI because it was a hobby I already had. But I think when you want to just get into it at any price, and you started like pushing yourself into learning it just because it makes money or something, it's not that good as connecting it with your work somehow, or with your hobbies, just finding something you enjoy and find a way to implement AI into it. And I think it's always also better to doing it actively than just like consuming all the AI news, because it's also overwhelming, because all these newsletters and all these news, all new products is changing like too quickly to catch up. So the best is doing something practical, I think.
Right. So I guess the takeaway is find something that you want to build and then learn the tools to build that essentially.
Hmm.
Okay, awesome. So, I was doing a little bit background research on you. I was on your Twitter. The question is, when and where were you when you realized that Mark Andreessen followed you on Twitter?
When I realized that more people are following me.
No, no. Do you know Mark Andreessen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I didn't understand.
yeah. So the question was, when and where were you when you realized that Mark Andreessen followed you on Twitter?
Yeah, it's funny because he follows the complete E2b team, and also I think E2b account. So one day I think someone from our team posted on Slack like, "Look, he's following us," and at the time I didn't know who he was, so I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And then then I learned it more. So yeah, it's funny, but I think these are just like vanity metrics. Like, yeah, you for your ego, it's good. You are like, yeah, Mark Anderson follows me, but then does it even like mean anything? I'm not sure.
Maybe they're the next investors in your cap table.
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe.
Okay, so let's get into e2b.dev, right? So you're essentially a sandbox for AI-powered applications, right? So can you delve into kind of what that essentially means?
Yeah. So we have AI agents. I think everyone has heard about them, just like autonomous applications, pieces of software powered by large language models, which are like part of their brain. Like AI agents are deciding, are thinking based on what the LLM generates for them. So these are agents, and we are all trying to make them reliable, make them good for like general public, for like high scale production. So they have many challenges, and some of them are that they are still not that good. Like everyone, I think, knows that. And for that, it's good to equip them with code interpreters. So that's like giving them better brain. So if the agent has code interpreter, which is something like being able to execute the code they generate, they can like reduce the hallucinations. They can provide more interesting output. Like you can ask the agent. Just analyze this for me, and it can run the code, install packages for that, and give you even a chart as a like picture. So these all kind of things are possible with code interpreters, but they need to run securely and being like isolated from everything in your operating system. They cannot control a computer, right? So that's what e2b does. We provide a safe environment for agents for basically using code interpreters, so the agents can like securely perform the tasks like data analysis, coding, code execution, testing. I don't know, like basically whatever they choose. So
Right.
so that's e2b. It's like this like playground, I would say, for non-technical audience.
Right. So sandboxes are super important, right? As enterprises start looking at sort of productionizing sort of generative AI use cases, AI agent use cases, it's super important to have a sandbox, a testing environment where, you can test the feasibility in a responsible manner. You know, talk about like from a regulation perspective, do you believe that eventually like large enterprises are going to be required to sandbox all of their AI use cases before productionizing it?
Yeah, like there are definitely more ways to run AI agents with code interpreters. Like you can still do it locally. You can do it in different settings. So I'm not saying E2B is the only way, but I would say it's natural for the agents in many ways. Plus, yeah, it provides the isolation because every agent instance gets its own E2B sandbox. So it's isolated, and I really don't know. I'm not expert on regulations, so I'm not sure if there will be some kind of requirement. But I see companies already being very careful about their data privacy and how they connect the data to AI and what AI they use. So I think definitely we will see many regulations in this field. I'm just not sure which one it will be.
Totally. So I guess AI agents are quite impressive in terms from a demo use case, right? We've all seen Auto GPT, some of the things that it can do. It's quite interesting, right? And I guess some of the biggest issues with AI agents is reliability, right? I guess once the reliability component is able to be fixed within AI agents, right? From an enterprise use case, like how do you think people are going to capitalize with AI agents? Like how like sort of a person who's running an organization or an enterprise, how are they going to capitalize with AI agents? Like, what do you think are the first use cases?
It really depends on the kind of organization in what field they are in. I'm always saying E2B has one customer, which is like big American sports association, and you wouldn't guess that they are using AI agents on the background. They have some kind of internal tool using agents and using E2B, so it can be really like many kinds of fields. It doesn't have to be something like with coding or data analytics or some technical use case, but it can be really anything. So I think it's just about finding the right way to use AI in your organization rather than thinking of, oh, how do I use AI just like out of the box, but rather how do I implement it to my like existing processes? How do I automate data? How do I don't know, automate my payments or something like that?
Right. How long do you think it'll take for a wide scale enterprise adoption of AI agents?
Oh, that's the question. Yeah, we will see how the new models will look definitely, and how powerful will they be, and how quickly the developers will build like more tooling around agents, and also we will see about the regulations. So I'm not really able to answer this. I think maybe like 1 2 years. Definitely like not next month, not next week.
Right. But within the decade, within this decade.
Yeah, I hope so.
So, I guess like what is your perspective, right? You're in the like the mecca of innovation. You're in San Francisco. A lot of the great inventors that are working on AI reside over there at the moment. Like once like autonomous agents, AI agents, multi agents become part of incorporations workflows, how do you see just the workforce? Kind of restructured. Like, what is your 2 cents?
On the workforce, like you mean in San Francisco or like overall how
In
AI
general,
changes?
how is organizations going to just get transformed?
Yeah, it's like everyone is scared that AI will take their jobs, and there is this saying that it will only take jobs of those people that are not using AI. So that's probably close to what I think will happen. Uh, yeah, and otherwise, I won't think it will take that many professions away, to be honest, because it's still like your personal assistant or helper or intern and not like full proper like person replacing you. So I think of it still more of just like a tool. Uh, yeah, but definitely there are new professions. There are AI engineers, which is a big thing. So people will need to learn to work with it. For example, our designer, he's really great, and he's already like using AI for generating something for helping with his designs, but still uh, it's a great example how he as a person has the unique value, uh, and AI couldn't replace that because he has this vision and this like complex understanding of our brand and how it should feel and what it should represent. So it's not enough just to generate few nice images and be down. It's not about this, and I think many professions work similarly. Like it's not just you cannot just simply replace the whole person understanding the profession and having the experience.
Right. So I believe that e2b.dev was founded in Prague. Is that right? Awesome.
Hmm.
So all the team is currently located in San Francisco,
Hmm.
right? So, I mean, it seems pretty obvious, but talk about, why if someone's building within the realms of AI, why it is kind of important to be in San Francisco.
Yeah, people ask that a lot, and it's this like things that cannot be really quantified, but once you are here you really understand because you get to meet all the builders, all the people building with AI like every day, and really like many of the people building agents and people who build first agents are located here, and even whole companies relocating here for that. So it's really still the best AI community in the world, I would say. Yeah, and it's also funny because we are chatting with someone on Twitter or Discord, and they want to use E2B or they have some problem, need to fix something, and we find out they are here and just say, "Hey, let's grab a coffee, let's meet." And it's similar with like partnering companies with new potential users, and we can also do a lot of events here and test like new hypotheses about the product. So it's really like all happening here. I feel like that.
Right. I guess since e2b.dev is still relatively a niche product at the moment, AI is still relatively a niche product, and like I guess most of your customers reside there. So, when it's a Twitter conversation, you can end up at a coffee shop in San Francisco, so it probably makes doing business a lot more easier.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, like within the landscape of agents, right? AutoGen is probably the most sort of famous one, published by Microsoft. Uh, what are some of the other agents that you're seeing that are quite interesting?
Oh, we have a whole map of agents that has like 200 of agents
Yep.
already. So I recommend checking that. But we also have like a huge pipeline of adding new agents. So it's many of them, and I have some like personal, let's say, favorite that I think are doing something interesting. Yeah, AutoGen is very popular. It's good for general public to try agents because I think it's has nice UX. So yeah, that's really popular. And then there are these like more maybe niche agents like. For me interesting is Mage that I tried recently. It's agent that helps you label your GitHub issues and just helping with your work on GitHub. That's very interesting. Or Gitwit, it's agent for front end that helps you coding applications with Next.js. Or so TinyBio. its agent that helps researcher. It writes scripts for them so they can run the scripts and analyze the data, and they don't have to, write the scripts themselves. It saves tons of time. So that's really like many agents from different fields. It's hard to pick like my favorite, but I'm using
Right.
these coding agents daily for code, so that's probably most frequently used on my end.
Right. So are you using GitHub Code Interpreter? Like, are there any others code interpreters you're using?
Yeah, also Cursor, also Open Interpreter, which got now huge popularity because they are building also hardware. So yeah, Open Interpreter is popular, and yeah, GitHub Copilot is probably the most common.
Right. So, I mean, within the sort of, the ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and I guess you could put Anthropic is there as well. How are they part of your workflows? What do you use, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity for, like, on a day-to-day basis?
Like which model I'm using?
So, generally, like, if you're doing some research or, trying to craft an email or something like that, when do you prefer
Like
using ChatGPT or Gemini or, Perplexity?
I'm using
Or,
find.dev and Perplexity also a lot. And I'm using sometimes ChatGPT with the data analysis plugin. Oh, sorry.
okay. Okay,
What
so,
were
so
you
you're
saying?
saying you're using Fine? What is that one?
Yeah, find. PHIND. It's something like
Okay,
Perplexity.
okay, awesome. So those are the ones you use, right? Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Um, so I guess like in terms of, I guess where do you see, like do you think AI agents are the pathway towards autonomous agents, like like AGI? Like, do you think this is how it's gonna lead to general artificial intelligence?
I was afraid that you will ask this question. I think there's many discussions about AGI and when is this coming, and someone says it's like in this decade, and I think it's like coming gradually, and we are not realizing it's coming. So it's like new steps that the agents achieved. So we may not realize the point where AGI is here. Like it's not maybe one point, but it's more like these small steps towards it, towards like more autonomy. Yeah, but I would say it could be in few years. I don't know. It's difficult
Awesome.
to predict the future.
Totally. Like, I think, yeah, I mean, I think I believe it'll gradually seep in. I guess, when you reflect back, like, how would one realize, because I think, like, everyone has a different way of quantifying what AGI is. Like, some would say that it's the Turing test. If a system can pass the Turing test, then you've got AGI, but I think we're way above that benchmark. So, like, in your perspective, like, when would you believe like a system is like truly like has general intelligence?
Yeah, you are right. It's like different measures, and I think it leads to the philosophical question: what even is intelligence, and what even is autonomy? Because we are all comparing agents to humans, and when they reach our level of intelligence, or when are they able to decide themselves. But when you look at it, I think also humans are not that autonomous that we like to think. Like we are also following patterns, also following these like mental shortcuts. We are following our like society habits, etc. So yeah, it's like also humans have this like thinking fast and thinking slow, as was in this famous book. And I think with agents it might be generally like similar. Like they have also this like intuitive fast thinking, and they can have the slow thinking and like really powerful intelligence, but they might not use it every time. So I think the AGI it could be like less interesting, less like big thing that we are imagining now. Like it could it doesn't have to mean that like agents are going to control the world.
Right. I think one of the most interesting thing that's happened in the space of AI is Devin AI. Over the past couple of weeks, it's just been all over Twitter. I don't know if you've seen this. There was footage of the founder of Devin AI, like he was taking part in like the Maths Olympiad. Did you see that video on Twitter?
Yeah, it went viral. Like the demo was amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I guess like, what do you think? Right now, you guys have 4 employees at e2b.dev. Do you think eventually it'll be like it'll still stay at 4 employees and then another 15 agents in the company? Like, is that the way you look at scaling as an organization?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's similar to what I said, the example with the designer. I think good programmer or developer, it's similar because, for example, our engineer and CTO, they are building our infrastructure, and it's not enough just, do the task very autonomously and very well, but they have to have the vision and they have to be able to like collect all the information, talk to users, and really be able to decide the next steps and the new hypothesis that they are going to test. And for building great, outstanding product, I think it's really about thinking outside the box. So I'm not sure if Devin could do that because it's a lot of basically a lot of things underlying that you don't realize. It's not just about doing the great code. It's about all that like complete package. Yeah, but the Devin demo was amazing, really, and also the open source alternatives, I think, are doing great.
Right. I don't know. I personally think that, and I think I've even heard like Naval Ravikant. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's one of these famous like investors within the tech community. Like, also kind of talk about like I just feel like organizations eventually are just going to be people like all-star people, and then there's just going to be a bunch of agents around where like I guess your head of code will, come up with the overall architecture, and then there'll be a bunch of agents put on task to conceptualize and like do the work, and then your core software developer will kind of review it and be like, hey, yeah, this is what I want, or again, then send it to the agent like, let's try to optimize this, that, and I guess you head of growth will run a bunch of strategies like illustrate a bunch of strategies and the agents will go and do a targeted Twitter strategy, Instagram, TikTok strategy, and then you review it. That's kind of how I feel organizations are kind of going to work eventually.
Yeah, I think it's possible. Like definitely, once you know the direction you want to go, it probably might be easy to delegate it to agents and to control them. Yeah, so I think with Devin, people starting to really see how this is possible, and many people had this like aha moment. So yeah,
Right.
it's
So I
exciting.
got one of the last few questions, right? So you're head of growth, dev relationships and community. So, you know, like when it's a niche product like e2b.dev, there's only so many people in terms of like AI engineers, like building things in AI, and then a sandbox in it, even more niche. How do you think about growth and community and, like how's your journey? This was something new to you. How did you kind of go upon that path of creating, enough traction where people are now using it?
Mhm. Yeah, it's completely new, and we have tested many things. Like we are, I would say, hypothesis driven. We usually have brainstorming and talk about what we need to try, what we need to do, and what we need to continue because the data showed it worked. So it's really like testing and iterating new things, and then deciding: do we continue this? Was it success? Was it a fail? And when something doesn't work, we immediately cut it, so no sunk cost, no anything. We just don't do things that didn't show any results. So that's just like trying many new things, and also talking to experienced people who have experience with grow, with building community. That's also really valuable. I'm always like happy when someone finds time to talk to me. So yeah, in general, I think there is no one like golden strategy that works, but really this small testing of things. And developers are really specific community, and I love it. I really enjoy working with developers, with technical people, because I feel like they have this. I would say like no bullshit attitude. Like they really can spot when you are trying to just like sell something that doesn't make sense. They're really this like. uh, yeah, really like no bullshit people. They want to see always the code, the real thing, and they don't care about like fancy language around it. So that's really what I enjoy. And yeah, what works for us is Twitter, Discord, writing a blog, doing coding examples. That's really important, like showing how our product actually works. So many different things.
Right. So if someone is, joined as a growth manager at a SaaS company, with a similar tech product like yours, would you say making a presence on Twitter, building your own brand, having an active Discord where you're engaging, is probably the key instruments to, kind of grow?
Yeah, probably, but I'm not sure if you can just take it and replicate because in our field it's very specific because the market is still being created. So big part of it is, just educating and creating the market because some people weren't even like realizing that the agents need code interpreters to be better and that they need to run it safely, that like it's all new things, and the whole ecosystem around LLMs and agents is quite new. So big part of it is education, which I think might not be true in general for SaaS business. It's not always the case. So this is very specific. That's why we are writing a lot, doing research, talking to people a lot. But in general, yeah, just Twitter works well for the tech.
Totally.
So
I
that
think in your case, education is probably the most instrumental thing, right? People need to understand the need of why you need to use a sandbox. So, and I think you've done some good job on Twitter, got a lot of traction on some of the content that you've made. So I guess if anyone is interested in e2b.dev, how they can incorporate it as part of their AI solutions, definitely check out Teresa's Twitter. I don't know why I call it Twitter. It's x.com. Like go on X and like I'll link it down below. But any other place where people can enlighten themselves more about e2b.dev, your blogs are there. Is there anything else?
Yeah, on our blog, definitely e2b.dev, you'll find the blog there. And also our GitHub, we are publishing the list of agents there. It has nice visual like landscape with all the agents there. So people really like to reshare that. So that's what I recommend checking. And yeah, follow us on X or join our Discord, and we try to answer quickly when we have time. We try to really talk to people. So yeah.
Awesome. So the last question, I guess, well, what is your hope for humanity? Like, that's the last question.
Wow, it's not easy. Wow. You're asking real questions. Like hope for humanity.
Well,
I
it's the
hope.
night. It's the night over here for me in Dubai. So it's generally when the philosophical questions come in. I know it's early morning for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's great. I hope that people will like. I will try to put it in context with like AI and social media and technology. So I guess I hope people will get more to just talking to each other and not like following social media that much. And with I hope they realize that not all they see online is true, and they shouldn't maybe believe all the influencers or maybe fake news or this like fancy content that sounds too like easy and easily explains like the reality. I think people should start having this like dialogue again and maybe more relying on experts in the fields instead of relying on some like loud voices on Twitter. And yeah, I hope that will happen and like lead people from different like groups or political parties like close to each other, but maybe that's too optimistic.
Well, I guess being an idealist in this world doesn't hurt, right? So awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, Teresa. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode.